And Russell Westbrook, who, as we talked about with Andy Kamenetsky, has been scapegoated a lot. I mean, Rob, Skip and Shannon, for 2/3 of the season, they were destroying Westbrook every day. I mean, it was just, I felt bad for my man. And obviously he was being called West Brick, which, he was throwing up some rocks. But
yes, we've seen the video.
Yeah, I mean, that was not photoshopped, Russ. Like, don't act like that happened. All right. And but he was scapegoated a lot. And finally, he kind of didn't mince words today in his season-ending press conference, Rob. And here's what he said about his situation this season.
I'm always having to prove myself again in the year after year after year, which is to me just unfair. And there's really no reason I have to do that. So when I first got here, I just felt that I never was given a fair chance just to be who I needed to be able to help this team.
What? Russ.
Are you sick again? You all right, Chris? Go ahead.
I mean, right. What? Stop it. Stop it. Okay? Because that was a shot at Frank Vogel. And the reports are that Frank Vogel kept you in the starting lineup when other members of the organization in the front office, maybe on the coaching staff, on the roster, wanted you to be benched. And he stuck with you. LeBron and Anthony Davis, Rob, what were they saying every day for the first few months of the season? We need Russ to be Russ. Here it is. Your game don't fit the Lakers. If they had let you do what you've always done, it wouldn't have been any better. It would have been the same old mess that it was. Now, I'm going to give Russ credit because I do think Russ was willing to adjust. But, these reports say not so much. When I watched him on the court, it seemed like he was willing to adjust. He was willing to get off the ball some, willing to move without the basketball, cut to the, backdoor cuts and things like that. The report in the LA Times, Rob, was that day one, Frank Vogel says, all right, whoever gets the rebound, push it. And Russ was like, what? And Vogel's like, we got LeBron. We got Malik Monk. We got Austin Reeves. We got so on and so forth. They can all push the ball. And Russ was like, man, forget that. Give me the rock and get out the way. Now, obviously, that didn't happen. But maybe that was his attitude. Rob, I just think this is ridiculous. They went overboard in killing Russ. But Russ, don't act like you balled out. You didn't. You shot bricks. You shot balls off the side of the backboard. You threw up air balls with regularity. You turned the ball over at an amazing rate. And when LeBron or AD wasn't there and you had a shot to kind of be Russ, you put up numbers, but you didn't win. So I'm not really here for the let's just blame it all on Westbrook chorus, but I'm also not here for Russ acting like he never got a shot. Rob, I've said it once and I'm going to say it again. That dude is hard to fit in somewhere. You ain't just dropping Westbrook in any old place. Like we talk about Kevin Durant all the time, Rob. Oh, you can drop him in anywhere and he's going to play. Yes, I agree. Russell Westbrook's like the opposite. And not Disney, Allen Iverson was similar. You couldn't just drop Iverson in anywhere. Guys that are ball dominant, high volume shooters, low efficiency shooters, high turnovers, pass it, always looking for their shot, pass it as a last resort. They're tough to fit in. Everything has to be built around them. And yeah, if that's Russ, I guess that's what he means. Because no, they weren't going to build everything around you with LeBron and AD. But he doesn't have the game to adjust.
And I guess what bothered me is, Chris, he took no responsibility. Like he didn't play well. I don't care what the numbers are, Chris. He didn't play well. And I think that you have to do a little bit of that. This was a new environment for me. I had to adjust to a lot of things. And when I had a chance to do some things, I didn't play as well as I've played in the past. How many buddies did he miss, Chris? Seriously, at the basket.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. He's way too talented to have missed the easy shots he missed and some of the terrible turnovers. I mean, he had more turnovers than a bakery. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Rob,
we didn't hear any of that.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. And I guess it's just that he felt so under siege this season. And I get it because Rob, you know this. I mean, first few months, he was getting it all.
He's probably embarrassed, Chris, because you come home, the family, you're with the Lakers, like the buildup of that, and then everything goes the other way, sideways.
Right. But we asked Andy Kamenetsky, you did, if Russell be there next year. Rob, I see no way that Russell Westbrook's on this team next year. And I'm not here for the let's just pile on Westbrook thing. But he's just not a fit at all. He's better than a lot of players that they may end up bringing in for him or trading him for. But he doesn't fit. This is basketball. It's not always about let's get the best 5 players. Let's get the best 3 players.
If they don't go together, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. And anybody that knows basketball, I shouldn't say that because obviously some very smart people thought this was going to work. But when you got too many ball dominant guys, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. And you can't have a ball dominant, even with LeBron willing to get off the ball more. And clearly he was this year. You still really can't have a ball dominant guy next to LeBron James. I don't know, people want to say Wade was ball dominant, but Wade was skilled enough to get off that ball and be effective because LeBron had the rock most of the time. And so, yeah, Russ, like I said, maybe this is an overcorrection on his part, right? Because he was unfairly targeted. I mean, it was fair because he didn't play well, but I thought he got too much of it.
No, he got a lot, and Chris, you know why? And I think, and we get it. AD and LeBron won a championship, no matter what you want to call it. Right. He's the new guy. He's the new piece. Without them, they won. They won in the bubble. So now all of a sudden, and granted, AD was hurt. LeBron got hurt this season and missed some games, but still, he was the new guy that was supposed to correct things from a year ago, and it just didn't happen. And so that's why everybody's coming down. This guy's a top 75 player, Chris.
And he is, and deservedly so. Like,
right.
Russell Westbrook, and I've said it, he's a legend. He's an icon. I don't think he'll ever win a championship, and I've been saying that for years. He's not like, everything isn't black and white, Rob. You can't say, he doesn't win at all. He's won. Not a championship, but he's won at a high level. He's been to the finals. He's been to conference finals. He's been on teams led by Kevin Durant and him where they beat Tim Duncan in the Spurs. So you can't say Russell Westbrook just can't win at all. But his game is hard to match with people's. And it's kind of like we said about Durant, Rob. He could fit in with anybody. And he showed that playing with Westbrook all those years. And having some success. But I don't think Westbrook will win a title, but his game, he deserves to be what he will be in history, which is the only player ever to average a triple-double for more than one season. 4 seasons, in fact. Something we never thought we'd see done. Something that Magic, LeBron, Jason Kidd, none of them did. He did it 4 times. And so he deserves love for that. But he's not winning any more titles. Or he's not winning a title. Not as a main guy. And I don't know if he's going to be able to go somewhere and play a role. It'll be, Rob, it's going to be interesting to see, assuming he's traded, when he goes elsewhere, what does he play like? And then you know what else going to be interesting? After next season, when he's, that team lets him go and gets his money off the cap.
Right.
Where's he going to go? Who's picking him up? He'll still be good enough to be in the league, but teams are in different places. A contender won't really want him because he'll disrupt things. A bad team, I don't think will really want him because he'll take away from the development of your younger players. And I don't think he's really got the game to adjust and be a role player. So we'll see, but I definitely don't think he's going to be on the squad next year. The question to me is, where will he be?